Headlines TV, full time, where it's finished Sheffield, Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. I don't know where you go with this. I really don't know where you go. For those that see, we done a podcast last night, or the night before, and it was about being in shit creek, not going all at 'em 100 miles an hour, and trying to have some form of consistency. Problem is that we are continuing to do the same thing that we did under Rowett. It's no different, absolutely no different. Maybe the only difference is that we defended a bit better under Rowett. On the contrast, I actually thought that Tanganga had a good game. We all slagged him off, and whatnot. But yeah, I thought we had a good game. It's just so tiresome, isn't it? It's just so tiresome to watch now. Like, fair play to people that are still going. Sounds awful. I couldn't think of anything worse, and I'm dreading going to Southampton next week. Like, I just couldn't genuinely think of anything worse to what to do on my Saturday at the moment. On the podcast, we were talking about how you have to go back to basics. And it goes to show, because we still continue to play the same formation that Rowett played that didn't work. When you play like that and you're not attacking enough, you end up with a couple of players just non-existent for the majority of the game, which is pretty much what the case was. Esse was non-existent. Fleming was non-existent. Although I thought he done well, we just playing with wide players that we can't get the ball to is just ridiculous. And this is where you have to start questioning in Joe Edwards' ability to change things tactically. I've been screaming out for a 4-4-2 for nearly a year with this squad, and the reason being is because you need to play basic football with basic footballers, and you can't turn our players into Man City. You just can't do it. And what I don't understand is that it took him 60 minutes to change it, or 70 minutes to change it, when surely he realised, by half time that this is not going to be our game if we carry on doing this. And it goes back to the basics, and the same as Rowett, which was you're being stubborn. You're being stubborn and you're trying to stick to your ways. And I think, unfortunately, that this is going to end up costing Joe Edwards his job. I like what he's done with the boys, and we do have a different style of play. However, there's still absolutely nothing going on up top. Absolutely nothing going on up top. And, how do you expect? I don't think Bradshaw's had a shot on goal. I'd like to see how many crosses. Do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see how many crosses we put into the box and how many crosses we could have put into the box, because we seem to get into areas and then forget about it. It's just, it's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. But listen, I'm going to be honest with you. We're doing all this, and a lot of people are going to moan about Joe Edwards. I think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to be gone before the Southampton game. I can't see how he can stay in charge now. And I'm going to put that down to stubbornness and inexperience. I think that he's got the nous? Do I think he's got the intelligence to be a good manager? 100%. However, I think that this is going to be a big lesson to him, and he's going to learn the hard way that you have to make big decisions in big games. And you decided to stay doing the same thing that you've done for the last 18 games or whatever you've been in charge, and your stubbornness to get you nowhere in this game. And that's what happened with Rowett as well. So where do we go from here? Because the big problem is that we don't have any easy games coming up. I think we've got Southampton away, then we've got Watford at home. I think we've got Birmingham at some point. You're looking down the table, and in 5-6 games, I think we've got Rotherham. I think we're in trouble. I genuinely think we're in trouble. And for those of the people that want to give me grief, going, well, you wanted Rowett out, this is what you get. Listen, we were already on this slippery slope with Rowett. Don't think that Rowett would have saved us from this, because he wouldn't have done. And fair play to Edwards coming in and, trying to give it a go. But I don't think that he's the man for the job now. I think that he probably needs to be, let's say, a top-end championship side just to implement the way that he wants to do things. And unfortunately, I think his stubbornness now is going to cause him to not be able to get through to the summer where we could have a transfer market. So I could be wrong, but like I say, I think he's gone. And now it's the big question. Now what do you do? Now what you do really is you bring some sort of Sam Allardyce in. I'm not saying him, but you bring some sort of Sam Allardyce in to rescue us for the rest of the season. And I bet you any money that that guy plays 4-4-2 and we start knocking out some results, because football is simple. And all we're trying to do at the moment is we're trying to overcomplicate things. And that is what's costing us all these results at the moment. I think I've said it, but I thought Tanganga had a really good game. I thought that McNamara had a good game, and I thought that Fleming had a lot more about him today as well. So, you know, there's some little positives there, but you need a whole team to pull through. And I just don't think we're ever going to pull through playing this formation. Like, how long? Like, surely people at Millwall or in the board or anything are sitting there going, how do we carry on playing this formation with all sorts of different players but still not seem to get a result? I know, let's change the players again. Like, come on, think smart, Millwall. It's not rocket science. It's really simple. Joe Edwards, I'm afraid you're probably gone. But let's go on to Southampton. Come on, you Lions.